Hello everyone, we're here with another review of my 2014 Ford Focus, an update review. I just got her some new tires, got rid of the old BF Goodwrench for some Tiger Paw from Uniroyal. Also got the front brakes done. Let's go for a ride. First of all, I'll show the update I did in my car. I got rid of the old radio that came with my car, which wasn't the Ford Sync radio. I got one of these Amazon Android radios. I've owned the car now since May 1st, and today is January 11th, so let's see. Eight months. Bought the car with 122,000 miles on it. 500. Now have 142,000 miles on it. Yes, 20,000 miles is a lot, but this is also my work/business car/mobile office. Can't even figure it out. Yep, I drive for a living now, among other things. Let's see. I am one of those security guards, armed security guards for hire, and I'm also a Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, Amazon Flex, Walmart delivery, Sam's Club delivery, Advanced Auto Part delivery person. Alright, so I just spent about $1,300 on 4 new tires and alignment. I also got front brakes done, new rotors, and new pads. All part of maintenance. I have a Ford maintenance plan I do every 6,000 miles to keep my car in top shape for my customers. And the only other work I've had done, let's see, back in October, I had a front and left control armbar replaced along with a tie rod and a boot. That was $600. Ouch. But just think, folks, this is a compact car. Even compact cars have become quite pricey to maintain. I can't imagine owning something like a BMW or Mercedes or an Audi. Every time the check engine light goes off, it's probably about $2-3 grand for starters. Anyway, car ride's nice and smooth. It is a stick shift. Yes, if you're thinking you've never seen an Uber or Lyft driver before that drive stick shift, you probably won't ever again. At least here in the United States. You know, every time I get in the car, people see it and says, "Wow, is that a gear car?" Yep, it is. It's a gear car. And the young folks who don't know any better think it's so fascinating. They think it's so complicated to drive. I'm like, well, if you can work a smartphone and a computer, driving a stick shift is really not that hard. And of course, the older folks are thrilled about it because it's like so old school that you don't see these anymore. And let's face it, finding a stick shift is getting harder and harder to find. But if you know how to drive it, you need a cheap car, man, you could get this car a stick shift car for almost nothing. I'll give you an example. My last 2002 Ford Focus, I bought it for $2,500. Drew about 40,000 miles on that, which is pretty good. And I traded that in after Bambi decided to christen it. I bought this 2014 for $3,600, tax and everything included. With only 122,000 miles. Why? No one drives stick shift anymore. And the advantage of stick shift is, one, they're cheaper to buy. Manual transmissions are way cheaper to maintain. If they break, most likely they will be way cheaper to fix. And there's nothing more reliable or durable than your manual transmission. If a car company can't make a manual transmission, you should stay away from that car company. It is an old-time, very simple design that is just way more reliable, way more durable. Gives you better control of the car in bad weather, and then it makes you a better driver, even with automatic transmission, because a lot of people are clueless how to work the 3-gear, 2-gear, 1-gear, and their automatic transmission, or what it's there for. Which I think is quite a shame, if you ask me. Anyway, for a compact car rides are pretty nice, especially with the new tires on it. And the type of winter weather we have, I can tell you right now, the traction control works pretty good. Anti-lock brakes work very good. I've been averaging as much as 42 miles per gallon highway, which is very good. This is why I would never buy a hybrid or a gas engine. I mean, for what I do, efficiency, overhead, gas engines are still the way to go. The only really hybrid I would consider buying would be a Prius or a Corolla. Maybe a Honda Civic hybrid. I like old time gas, or as they say overseas, petrol. Climate control in this car works real good, especially heat. Haven't done much of the AC in the summertime. I'll get my chance when June comes around, considering I'm gonna have passengers. Cruise control works good. Steering is very, very responsive. The clutch and stick shift are very smooth. It's not as fun as my old 2002 Ford Focus. That was more of a performance transmission. I felt there was more power in first gear than I did this transmission. This is built more for fuel efficiency at the time in 2014. The hatchback design, so it's very versatile, which I like. You know, growing up in the 70s and 80s, if you saw a hatchback, it was a symbol of a super duper cheap car that you bought for nothing because you couldn't afford anything else. But in the SUV era, I like the hatchback versatility a lot better. I mean, there'd be more room in the trunk than the hatchback trunk, but when you fold the seats down, as opposed to folding the seats down in a sedan, there is much more room in a hatchback. Of course, it's got bucket seats. Seats 5. I would put this right up there with, as far as performance goes, and fun to drive. I would give it a solid notch below the Civic. My old 2002 Ford Focus, I put it right up there with a Civic. But with the manual transmission not being as sporty and fun, I'm going to put it a full notch below a Civic with a stick shift, specifically with a stick shift. Would I recommend this car? Listen, if you know how to drive a 5-speed, I have no problem recommending this car to you. If you're looking for one with an automatic transmission, please stay away. The automatic dual clutch transmissions on a 2014 Ford Focus were horrible, still are. And the bad thing about it is, despite the fact that Ford knows how terrible they are, they have not made any improvements. So if you get a new Ford transmission, you're going to have the same problem eventually down the road. In fact, Ford Focuses in general, I would really recommend only with a stick shift. Now, if you get the one I had, that period from, I think it was 2001 to 2007, I think, the automatic transmissions were okay if they were maintained. If they're maintained, and you know they were maintained, may not be such a bad buy. The generations after that, they gradually, next generation after that, they gradually got worse. And by the time the 2012 to 2017 models came out, they were horrible. So I would recommend only a Ford Focus. This generation Ford Focus 2014, only with a stick shift. And if you really want to have fun, I would recommend the SVT, the Special Vehicle Team. If you want to have some fun, because those are fun. Those are right up there with a Honda Civic Si as far as performance. Now, as far as expense goes and resale, no, the Honda still rules that market pretty easy. Climate control because it got hot in here real quick. So this is what the inside of my car looks like. So overall, as far as performance of the car, I like it very much. Fuel economy has been awesome. The only option on this car I wish I had, by the way, I do have a sunroof, something I didn't have in my last 2002 Ford Focus, which for what I do, this doesn't mean anything. I mean, if I'm going to enjoy it on my own time, that's one thing, but for my customers, no. Usually keep the climate control on. But the one thing I wish I had is fog lights. Because fog lights on a bad weather morning, you're delivering stuff, you're delivering people, you really want that extra eyes directly on the road. Other than that, it's got a tachometer, analog, which I like, analog speedometer, temperature control, and fuel gauge. There is a center digital in the display in the middle. Like right now, I got the trip mount on, which tells you how much gas you used, how many miles you have for the tank, how your MPGs are, and your trip counter or countdown, whatever it is, trip timer. There you go. The climate controls on this are analog, also the old time switch knob, which I like better. The less electronics you have, I think the better off you are. I mean, you're just asking for headaches. I'm not into the tech thing. A lot of these car companies are now into tech and style. I want something that's going to work and keep me out of the shop. I mean, I want to do maintenance. I just don't want things breaking constantly. It does have power windows, locks, and mirrors. This car, even though it was the bottom shelf model, the SE model, it did come with a blind spot mirror on both side mirrors, which I like very much. I thought that was a neat, nifty thing. Plus, there are also defrosters on the side mirrors. I nice little touch also I like very much. As you can see, the rear wiper works. Cloth seats, which, you know, I prefer leather. They are easy to maintain, easy to keep clean, especially when you do Uber and Lyft. Old-time handle emergency brake, center console, not much room, but for what I do for use of this car, good enough. Glove box, plenty of room, although it's awkward the way it's shaped. I can live with it. Speaker system is decent. Boom roof, sunroof works good. The only other problem I have with this car is the drain plugs of the sunroof got clogged, and I spent $200 to get those cleaned. Should have did it myself. It's not really that hard once I found out how to do it. It is what it is. But overall, for the 2014 Ford Focus SE, if you want a recommendation, only with a stick shift. What's your opinion? Put your comments down below. If you got any questions on this car, let me know. And when you consider I only paid $3,600 and I well more doubled the income I made using this car alone, has well more than paid off for it. That's how you do it. You buy your cars used, don't buy new. Especially for what I do, you buy from 7 to 12 years old. Anyway, let me know. We'll talk to you later.